What's good, everybody? It is your boy Tony the
Sure.
Savant back again. I got something special for y'all, man. I got my boy BT, my baby brother Ben Turner here. What's going on, man?
Nothing much, man. How you doing today?
Real good, bro. Real good. I got my boy BT. Oh, sorry. Hold on. Ben Turner here. Turn on.
How you doing today?
Sorry, hold on. I got my YouTube on. Oh, can't find a remote. Sorry. Can't find a remote. Can't make this up, bro. Can't make this up. Literally just lost a remote that was in my hand. So, yeah. Anyway, it's your boy Tony the Savant. We are back again with the Green and Gold Show, something I've been wanting to do for quite some time. As you all know, your boy is a Packers fan, man. But I wanted to make it a football show, Packers centered. And I had to go grab my baby bro BT here, man.
Yes,
Who's
sir.
a Packers man, respectfully. So we're gonna bring y'all our first episode of this show. We're gonna talk some football this evening. How you doing today, BT?
Man, it is living a dream.
You know that's right, brother. That's right. Uh, well, let's give them a little story, a little backdrop about how you became a Packers man.
I grew up in a football house with my brother. You know how it is. We watch football every Sunday, and I think I would say I was pretty young, like 8 or 10. And my brother is a long time Saints fan, and one day they were playing the Packers, and the Packers beat them. I was like, all right, that's pretty cool. So, it started off that brother rivalry. I got to do whatever my brother hates.
Yeah.
And no, but yeah, I like the colors. I'm in love with cheese. So when I learned that fact, I was like, well, I got to go from Green Bay. And ever since, I've liked Green Bay and followed Green Bay, and that's just the best thing ever, I guess.
Yeah. Hey. And no matter how you become a Packers man, as long as you're a Packers man, you're making a good decision.
Absolutely.
Well, that's super dope, baby bro. Let's get right into the show, why don't we? As we got a plethora of topics that we would like to get into, but it's been an eventful NFL offseason. I think I say myself. But as we know, as two Packers, man, we dare say that it's only right that we start the show off with some Packers news. And one of the biggest moves of the offseason kind of happened for us. I think you probably would agree, BT, acquiring a guy like Josh Jacobs, who I think is still fairly young. He was very productive for the Raiders, and I think
Absolutely.
as much as I love Aaron Jones, I think this is a upgrade for us. How you feeling about this move, man?
Man, just looking at Josh Jacobs' stats for the Raiders, he had moves all those years there. From 2019, he was killing it till 2023, he was killing it.
Mm-hmm.
Statistically, he's pretty good, and I think he's a good movement for sure for Green Bay.
Do you think? I was looking at an article about a couple of days ago um, about the money that we're paying them, and some people in Packers Nation were a little bit upset because they feel like the money that we given uh, Josh Jacobs, we could have gave to Aaron Jones. I like I said respectfully, I feel like Josh Jacobs is an upgrade from Aaron Jones. And if I'm gonna be giving somebody $8 million, then I'd much rather give it to Josh Jacobs than Aaron Jones. But you think he's worth that much?
And I do, and I think Aaron Jones himself is seasoned. I
Mm-hmm.
don't think I think he's good, but I just think he's seasoned.
Hmm.
He's not putting the same stats up as Josh Jacobs is.
Yeah, that's for sure.
And
Yeah,
I think the Vikings can have Jones, but I think he'd be decent for the Vikings. But I don't think he's gonna be Josh Jacobs status for sure.
yeah, 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 for sure. I hated to see him go, uh, but yeah, once I seen, well, we had gotten Josh Jacobs the day before Aaron Jones, a little bit before Jaron Jones had left anyway. So I was hoping for a little while, that little in between period, that we was able to keep both of them, because how nice would that have been to keep
Oh,
the.
absolutely.
Uh, but I think we did. Didn't we keep AJ Dillon?
Yeah,
I
he's
think we.
good. He's huge.
I've seen the Cowboys was interested in AJ Dillon. I'm not sure what they did with that though. Did you hear about that?
I didn't see that just yet, but I think that would be decent move for them. Um, Dylan's got some quads on him for sure, and I think he can push it up O line and push that defense for sure.
Yeah. Well, we just re-signed him to a 4-year contract. So as far as him, we locked in their running back. As far as our tandem, him and Josh Jacobs
Mm-hmm.
for the next foreseeable future.
And that's gonna be a good duo for sure.
Yeah, yeah, I think so. We got a nice. We find a way to keep Romeo Dobbs, Christian Watson, uh, Reed. I forget the kid's name, but
I
he's
think Jalen.
yeah, Jalen Reed. He started balling out for us. Our young tight end. The guy's name escapes me right now, but I love.
Kraft.
No, no, not Kraft.
Oh, I can't remember his name there.
Musgrove, Luke Musgrove.
Musgrave.
Yeah, yeah, I love that kid too, man. We got a nice core of young talent locked in. We talking about very young, to the point where they can develop together. I hate the business sometimes of football or sports, and I'm hoping that doesn't bite us in the tail. Another 3-4 years, and everybody wants to get paid. Uh, but so forth and so on. I like what we're
Yeah.
doing. Um, but moving on to some other off-season moves. Um, what do you think about that Derrick Henry? I think that was the biggest splash this offseason. Derrick
Uh,
Henry to the Baltimore Ravens.
I think he's gonna do decent, but I don't think he's gonna make a spotlight. I think he's gonna give us some good runs, but I don't think there's gonna be like a Josh Jacobs stat now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I
honestly think.
think
No, go ahead.
good. Also, I think they're looking for like more of a receptionist type person, catching the balls and running with them. And I don't think Henry's gonna do that.
Hmm. Yeah, I never took Derrick Henry as a stellar, hands and receiver out of the backfield. He's more the ground and pound type.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but he's had a long 8 years in Tennessee. And we all know in the NFL, one season in the NFL is like 4 regular human years, as far as the wear and
You,
tear guys take.
you start taking hits for sure.
Yeah, yeah. And I always wonder when a guy when a guy moves from a team to another team, like Derrick Henry is doing, how much tread is left on his tires.
Yeah.
Um,
And how many more hits can you take before you get to injury?
hmm
They're start getting injury prone at that point.
Yeah, yeah. And he's definitely still young, though. I would say I think he's 29, 30. So, but 30 is pretty much the mark for running backs, where you start, clicking at watching the time clock, because 30, you can turn 35 overnight in the NFL for sure.
Uh, Sam said in chat that Henry is kind of washed this season, and I would have to agree with that.
Oh man, my bad, Sam. So I'm on this StreamYard. I can't see comments on StreamYard for whatever reason. If next time we'll go live on the Facebook or something. But wait, say it again. He says Derrick Henry's washed.
He said he might be kind of washed this season. He's
Yeah,
expecting him to be washed. Yeah, I have to agree.
I agree, Sharon, and that's why I say, like, I'm concerned about how much is left in the tank with Derrick Henry, especially considering that the Baltimore Ravens are in win now mode. They're going to be expecting Tennessee Titan Derrick Henry, not for him to kind of take a little bit off the gas at this point. Another big move, Saquon to the Eagles. What's your thoughts on that one?
I didn't really watch Saquon Barkley that much. I know he's a beast of a dude, and I don't see what he could do much with the Eagles, like with the Henry situation. Um, but I know he's a beast of a dude, and I know he can break some people down. I know he takes some big hits and still running for what he does for the Eagles now. I'm not sure. That's something I would have to sit and watch and see how that runs out.
Yeah. Uh,
Play that by ear.
I will say I like the tandem of Jalen Hurts and Saquon
Mhm.
more than I like the tandem of Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. Uh, for two reasons. You're talking about age. Saquon's a lot younger. I think Saquon's only like 26. So, and he essentially didn't play last season. So really, I think about one or two seasons Saquon didn't play. So he doesn't have as much tread off his tires as a Derrick Henry does. And then Jalen Hurts. I think Jalen Hurts. I don't think he's as good as everybody says he is. You know what I mean? I don't think he's Justin Fields. You know what I mean? But I
Yeah,
don't think he's on Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow level. Just because he made it to a Super Bowl, I feel like a lot of people elevated him.
yeah. I definitely think Saquon won't be getting those goal line touches up because it hurts for sure.
Yeah, yeah, I think it's gonna hurt him. Who else? I got to see who else they have at running back because I think that's going to be crucial to what they're able to do as well. Um, as dynamic as Saquon is, he's injury prone too. So
Yeah,
a good hit, and especially in the NFC East, where every game is pretty much a playoff game, considering how close the Packers, oh, no, excuse me, the Cowboys and the Eagles. The NFC East is always close, whether they all suck or they all good.
yeah.
And so I'm wondering how much Saquon can handle that. But all in all, I like that more. And plus I feel like they got a better receiving core, better defense. Uh, what do you think they're going? You think that offensive line is going to suffer now that Jason Kelsey has retired?
Um, I definitely think he was a strong point, being the center, of course, but I'm not really sure. I think getting a nice person in there and having that backup on it is
Mm-hmm.
it's still going to play out the same way. I mean, he wasn't the heart and soul of that center, but I definitely think it'll affect him a little, but nothing crazy.
Yeah, I read in an article that whoever is replacing Jason Kelsey, they're praising him as like the next Jason Kelsey.
Yeah,
I think he comes from Georgia or something like that. But
yeah. I've never liked that whole the next Jason Kelsey. I would rather be the next me and that person individually, and I shouldn't be idolizing one person.
BT, that is a media, and as since I've been a sports journalist, I'm starting to notice some of the tactics these characters use in the media. And then we're seeing it right now with Caleb Williams, man. Like they are just doing the most, trying
Yeah,
to like he's just a number one draft pick. He wasn't even that good last. I mean, I would even say a year and a half. He had his Heisman season, but last year and a half, it's like y'all building him up like we finna get the next Tom Brady or something. And then he's going to the Bears. So when have the Bears ever been, you know,
yeah.
the
Thinking of the Bears, man. What about that Russell Wilson, Justin Fields?
I am man, here's my thing about it is I was excited to see Russell Wilson go over there because I predicted that like 6 months ago. I said, oh man, when I heard that the Steelers were interested, I knew that the Steelers were for sure, thinking about moving off Kenny Pickett. And so, and we're gonna talk about that guy in a minute too.
Yeah.
I like what you messaged me about him, but anyway, I loved Russell Wilson going over there, but I hate Justin Fields going over there. It's just like
Yeah.
still
Yeah, Trey said in chat, Fields and Wilson are both dog water at this point.
Fields and Wilson have both been in bad systems.
Oh yeah.
Okay, we gotta realize the Bears have never, and this is why I'm not really understanding all the Caleb Williams, hype. Bears as an organization historically have never had an elite quarterback. The closest thing was Jay Cutler, and Jay Cutler is, to the rest of the world was mid at best. So
No, absolutely.
um, I don't think they dog water. I just think they're coming from two bad systems. Even with Russell Wilson, he had two different coaches these last two seasons. So, and Nathan Hackett is more of a, air it out. I mean, I could take from him. I don't really know much about him. He's more of an air it out kind of guy, and Sean Payton is more of an old school, mix it up kind of a guy. So,
Absolutely.
uh,
I think Fields is really good at scrambling when he needs to, for
mm-hmm,
sure. But I don't think he carries much qualities at this point. I mean, I know he was missing a bunch of bad passes and he was just not getting open and staying in the pocket. But
mm-hmm.
yeah, I mean, he's a good scrambler, and I think he'll do decent for the Steelers.
What do you think? Well, he's going to be the backup for sure. Uh,
Yeah,
how do you think? I think it's going to be some drama in Pittsburgh.
I think there is too, but I think he's going to prove himself a little more in the preseason than a lot more people think he's going to do. He's going to prove a point in the preseason.
How long are you giving uh, my boy Russell Wilson? How long do you think he has before he has like a bad game or something, and then Steeler Nation is calling for his head?
I'm going to give it week 3. As a matter of fact, I'll look up their schedule right now.
Yeah,
And we'll see what game I'm going to predict.
I know for sure. Just because of one of the franchises that he's in, if he loses a game to the Browns or to the Ravens, they're going to be calling for his job.
Absolutely.
You
I'm going
can,
to say now that's one of the best rivalries right there. The Browns and the Steelers. You start messing with that, and they're going to be heated.
yeah, and the Steelers. I mean, not the Steelers. The Browns are always the little brothers of the division too. Well, you got their schedule up.
I'm trying to find it.
Find my charger. Y'all forgive me, man. I just got off work. I am so not how I usually be for my shows.
Yeah, Trey said within the first 5 weeks.
First 5.
Yeah.
Not mad at that, man.
Yeah, man, I'm putting it right now. They're playing the Browns week 4, I believe that is.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's gonna be it. I'm gonna say week 4, maybe week 3 after facing Bengals, because they're going from Bengals to the Browns.
Oh,
So
he had another one. He can't lose to that. He can't lose them games either. Forgot how the AFC. Yeah, they the South. The AFC North.
Yeah, I mean, they're gonna have some back-to-back games. It's gonna go Commanders, Ravens, Bengals, Browns, Chiefs. That's just the first 6-5 games right there, and all those games are gonna be tough on them.
That's a tough first.
Yeah,
The new quarterback in that system. And I know Steeler Nation, man, they were so upset with Kenny Pickett. I don't think they're going to be very patient with Russell Wilson. So,
no, I mean, and I think this might be his last season for sure. I mean, he's getting to the point where he's getting a little more than just dog water and washed.
yeah, agreed. And Russell Wilson was one of those dudes. I watched him come up. I used to watch him when he was in Wisconsin. I loved him as a college quarterback. I've always liked Russell Wilson to me is one of those intelligent quarterbacks, like a Peyton Manning, where he ain't gonna wow you with his athleticism, but he'll wow you with his IQ if you really understand what you're watching. He's very intelligent, very intelligent quarterback. But yeah, man, you looking bad out here, brother.
Yeah, Trey was saying he'd rather have them than have to run with Pickett and Rudolph. Yeah.
And I know Sam's a Steelers man, yeah.
Yeah, Sam's a Steelers man for sure.
Or is this what he feeling about this? What you think about this, Sam? This is your team, man. You're gonna be the one Sunday in, Sunday out, have to emotionally deal with this mess.
Yeah, we
But
talk about that quite often.
I loved when they picked up Russell Wilson. I loved it. I like this makes sense. I thought actually that they was going to keep Kenny Pickett and have Russell Wilson, like give
Yeah.
Kenny Pickett a year to sit behind and
It's like the Packers situation. It was Brett Favre, then it was Rodgers. Then
yeah,
Rodgers mentored Love, and it all works out. It's a good thing, but Pickett went and did his thing.
yeah. So
Like you said,
what do you think about that?
man, I think he's got a bad attitude, and I think he hurt himself. Now he was, Russell Wilson would have been a 1 year thing, and he would have moved up.
Yeah.
Now he's going to go to the Eagles, and have to sit behind Jalen Hurts for 5 years
Mm-hmm.
when he's been playing next year. Now he's got to wait 5 years.
Mm-hmm. I think honestly, if Jalen Hurts gets hurt and the door opens for Kenny Pickett could pull a Nick Foles, man.
Yeah.
Same way Carson Wentz was the guy, and then all of a
Oh,
sudden,
absolutely.
and then you freaking go on a Super Bowl run with the backup quarterback. All of a sudden, we haven't heard from Carson Wentz. I mean, I know he's still playing somewhere on a team, but I
Yeah.
have.
Sam was saying it's hard being a Steelers fan. This past 2 years have been hard to watch.
Is he liking the quarterback acquisitions? I mean, that's what I'm more so thinking. Like, yeah, no, I know what you mean too, Sam. I've been watching the Steelers, and it's been a long way from Ben Roethlisberger in those glory years of Super Bowls. But all in all, I mean, I just don't know. If the Steelers won the Super Bowl this year, I just don't know how they would do it. You know what I mean? That's what I'm thinking. Defense is good, but not good enough. Of course, you got TJ, but
Yeah.
offense is going to be, Mike Tomlin is a legendary coach, but he can only do so much. But just moving on, we was talking about the Kansas City Chiefs, the reigning Super Bowl champions.
If it's open, but if he panics, he gets sacked a lot.
Who Russell?
Pickett.
Oh yeah. And that's the thing. Pickett is still developing. I like him as far as his raw talent, but I just that he needs to develop. He should sit behind a Russell Wilson for a year. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. I don't know why these younger athletes today want to be like starters now, and it's like, bro, you're not good enough. I'm sorry. And that's all across the board, unfortunately. But Super Bowl champion Chiefs was able to pull off the improbable. Nobody really had them win.
Yeah.
No, I didn't. I thought it was going to be between the Ravens and the 49ers this past season. But Mr. Mahomes and the crew were able to pull it off once again. What are your thoughts on their chances of three-peating?
Man, I think they have a I'm gonna set it right now. The percentage either I'm gonna say between a 60 and 80% chance. There's a new probable thing sitting down from last season. Last season, the biggest threats were taken out. You look at Joe Burrow; he was out of the game when it happened. I think Joe Burrow being active is gonna hurt it. And you look at Prime Rogers is not as good as he used to be, but Jets coming back in with healthy Rogers,
Mm-hmm.
it might do some dirty work on their teams and weaken the positions.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to look at like a Dolphins and Bills. They start playing each other, it's going to
Mm-hmm.
weaken them too.
That's a good point. I didn't consider that. The
It's like
Bills.
it's just weaken other teams as it goes on, and I think it could weaken them for sure.
Mm-hmm. I think that's a good point, BT. I did not consider the Bills are always in the mix. Man, I actually like the Bills. I like
Yeah,
Josh in a like a pathetic kind of way. It's like if they win it, I'm like,
exactly.
you guys just. And I remember watching a documentary about that long time ago when they went to 4 straight Super Bowls and weren't able to pull it off.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's kind of like I've always had a spot in my heart for the Bills because of that. Because could you imagine, bro? Like, could you
Just
imagine?
losing constantly.
Oh my goodness! Like, could you us right now, Jordan Love making it to the Super Bowl 4 years in a row, and it's like
Hmm.
and win not one of those, I would be hurt.
But not to mention that Joe Burrow is the only active QB to beat Mahomes head to head in a playoff game.
Mm-hmm.
He's
No.
the only one,
Mm-hmm.
and I think him being healthy is going to hurt that.
Yeah, yeah. And so that's what I'm hoping for. Because that is the one anomaly that everybody, it ain't Lamar Jackson. I'm sorry for the Lamar
No,
Jackson. It's not Josh Allen. I'm sorry for the Josh Allen and the Bills crew, Bills Mafia. It is Joe Burrow. He's the one. And yeah, man, I say the same thing. If he's healthy, I would be kind of worried about that. From
yeah.
a team like that's the one team that got their card. But what do you think about T Higgins? I've seen. Oh, so I was talking to you about something yesterday. Before we get into T Higgins,
Okay.
uh, who was it? Damn, T Higgins and Jamar Chase were looking to try to recruit DeAndre Hopkins to the Bengals. And I was like, yo, I love that. That's my new Madden team if that happens. But that's I think that'll be a super team for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's gonna be a big thing, like we were talking about for the Bengals. That's gonna play a fact against the Chiefs.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, even without DeAndre, they got a nice squad. They just lost Joe Mixon though, so I'm wondering what they'll do at running back.
Yeah.
Uh, but T Higgins, do you think he should stay in Cincinnati, or you think he should test his market value and see what he can get out there? I mean, how familiar are you with T Higgins, his body of work? BT?
Sorry about that. I don't know what happened. I kind of
No.
lagged out a little bit.
All right, you
Um,
good.
sorry about that. No, but I think T Higgins. I think he should stay. I mean, if they pay him enough and the contract's good enough, he should stay for obvious reasons. But I saw this article on NBC Sports that Zach Taylor says that he might be one of our best chances to get in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I
Wait,
think
wait.
he plays a big facts in it.
And T Higgins?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. And because he's an elite receiver to the point, uh, kind of like Devontae Smith is for AJ Brown in Philly. Everybody sings AJ Brown's praises, but Devontae Smith is an elite. Would be a number one receiver on any other team.
Absolutely.
I think it's the same dance, song and dance with Jamar Chase and T Higgins.
Yeah,
T.
Trey was saying Hopkins is Cincy would be elite because like you look at the addition with Mixon, it's gonna be unstoppable.
Yeah. Well, they don't have Mixon. I think Mixon left.
I didn't see that. Let me see if I can pull that up.
Yeah, I think Joe Mixon got picked up somewhere else in free agency. But yeah, facts, Trey. If that's the case, I'm that's my team on Madden, bro. I'm calling them. Plus my high school football team, we were the Bengals. So I've always had like a relationship with Cincinnati, but if they get that team, I'm running with them. I'm sorry, Pat.
Yeah.
See y'all next year.
Yeah, Mixon with the Houston.
Yeah, that's facts. That's what I was thinking about. We was talking about that yesterday on our little pre-show, but I couldn't remember who they picked up at running back. It was a good pickup. I like that. Uh, there was somebody else that was just on my mind. Another big free agent that I forgot to talk about.
Um,
My boy BT lagging again. But yeah, man. Are you lagging, BT? I think he is.
my bad. I don't know what happened. I'm lagging a little bit.
Are you good? It looked crazy. It looked crazy on the screen though, because it's like
No, my bad.
I be thinking he's still active. It's like, so what do you think about this? It's crazy. It just happened again. That's funny.
Sorry about that, brother. My Wi-Fi is it's being spotty for no reason.
No, you're good, bro. It's good. It's crazy to see. It's funny.
No, I was saying the Dolphins are not going to win much just because Tua, and I don't think Tua's a consistent person.
Facts. I did give Tua. I was singing some of Tua's praises a little too early last year.
Yeah,
That 70-point game. That was crazy. I thought Mike McDaniels was going to be the next Sean McVay. I was like, oh man, the Dolphins are going to the Super Bowl. Uh, and then they just totally flamed out the last five weeks. I'm like, how y'all go from first to third in the division, bro? That's not even
that hurts.
man. In 5 weeks time, just like it wasn't like they was trash all season. Just like the last 5 weeks. But nonetheless, BT, I wanted to kind of wrap up the show at that point. If I want to save a little content for tomorrow, get
Absolutely.
get the people a little bit more. I feel like this was a good little first episode, anywho. Talking about some of these big moves. There's so much more going on in the NFL. We kind of was doing a little catch up right now with the NFL moves. Everybody's already talked about that kind of stuff, but nonetheless, we had to get the green and gold show in there.
Absolutely.
But any final thoughts for you over there, baby bro?
No, man. For football to get back on the game.
Yeah, yeah. We are not too far off, but you will be getting all Packer updates here right at the Green and Gold Show. And then while we give you some Packer news, we'll be updating you on what's going around the National Football League as well. But this is my boy BT. I'm gonna get you a YouTube channel, man, so that people can come see you.
Absolutely. I could get something started for sure.
Yeah, man. But we'll be back tomorrow night, you all. We're gonna try to get busy a little bit earlier. Again, that's my apologies, getting off work later than I expected. But yeah, we're gonna get busy a little earlier tomorrow, BT. We're gonna deep dive into. I want to get to a point where we're breaking down each individual team.
Right.
In addition to our Packers, then we could probably move around to divisions, how that's gonna play out. And then we gotta do some final. I always say final fantasy, bro. I always say final fantasy football. Because I think I got a sure proof strategy on how I'm gonna win next season. I'm a little nervous with you and Sam. I'll be joining the league with y'all, so see if the strategy work. I got a team though, like some sleepers. So
Yeah. Me and Sam we're pretty good at it, but we do a lot of studying, that's for sure. I'm sure he's already started. Because I remember in high school he would get a whiteboard out and be writing everyone's name and everything.
a real NFL exec over there, right?
Exactly.
Finding out what these dudes like to eat and all that stuff. Like, damn, you into the science. I like that, bro. Yeah, it's gonna be an epic fantasy football. So we're gonna definitely incorporate a fantasy football segment into the show. And definitely get Sam and Trey, man. Come on up on the panel, bro. Let's talk some football. But that's all I got for y'all on this one. That's all we got for y'all on this one. It is the Green and Gold Show. It is your boy Tony the Savant, the baby bro BT. Peace.